All right, so our next deal of the month is a note buyer around here. He's been a member for quite a while, and he's going to tell you how he found a great note. And take it away, Shawn.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Hi, my name is Shawn Lee. This is Bob. He's my stepdad. So tonight's note night. We have note school here, so I've got a note deal for us. So this was a single-family home in Decatur, Georgia. It's outside of Atlanta. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. We bought it from a hedge fund. It was actually the borrower owned 4 homes. We bought all 4 homes, and he lived in one of the homes, and the other ones were rentals. So he was past due in default, and we basically let him keep one house, and he signed the other 3 over to us. So. And that was what I saw of the house when I bought it. It didn't look that fancy. It looked kind of like a $30,000-$40,000 house. So we did an eviction, rekeyed it. Our rehab cost was $2,750. We did paint, carpet, some small repairs, and cleaning. That's how we bought the house, and we just basically cleaned it up. I've never been to the house before. I've never stepped inside of it. At the end of the street, we found this out. When we put the house on Zillow, we put it at $75,000 just to see what would happen. We got 12 calls in 3 hours. So we took it off Zillow, and I got an offer, a cash offer from an agent at $90,000. So we actually accepted it, but then he backed out and said he'd only pay $80,000. So we just kept his deposit because it's non-refundable. And we basically listed it for $110,000. So we paid $13,000 for the note. A total cost in was $16,000. We sold it for $97,000. Total profit was $66,000. And it took me about, yeah. I did all this from my office. I never swung a hammer. It took me about 15 hours of just emails and talking on the phone to agents and whatnot. And I can do 20, 30 deals at the same time with this kind of workload. So we did it in 10 months from start to finish. The ROI was about 500%, give or take. And it comes out to about $4,000 an hour. Yep. So if you guys are interested in notes, stick around, and I think Note School is presenting, so it's a lot of good information about notes, and you can always talk to me if you want to know anything else.
Good job. All right.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions for Shawn? Looks like we have one over here.
Yeah.
How did you locate the hedge fund?
We've built up contacts through the years. It's pretty much like wholesaling. If some wholesalers build up a network over time, there's people that if you start in the note business, you'll find them right away, and there's people that you'll find after being more in the business. So if you partner with someone that's already done note deals, there's a handful of people in CFRI that does that, then they can help you out. Yeah.
Question over here, Todd.
No, okay, so were we required to buy all four properties? We weren't. We actually were going to buy one, and we had the agent go and speak to the borrower, and he said that he had 3 others, and that he wanted to basically work out something on all 4. So we just went ahead and bought all 4. It was, you see the prices we bought it for. We got all 4 about that price. And then when we heard a situation, it was a win-win situation for him. We let him keep his house, and he couldn't afford all 4 anyways, so he just signed the other 3 back to us.
Now, I want to ask the audience here, raise your hand if you do not know what a note means or what that is. It's okay.
Oh.
All right. Please
okay.
Explain.
So a note deal, most people know what a bank-owned property is. So we go before that. We go to before the foreclosure, and we buy what's called a note, which is basically the mortgage. So we buy it when they have stopped paying, but before they've been foreclosed. And there's a pain point for the bank or the hedge fund to do the foreclosure. So once you learn how to do it yourself, you can basically acquire properties a lot cheaper. Yes. Yeah, so when someone doesn't pay the mortgage, the bank will sell the mortgage. That's correct. If you Google about, for example, Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, they actually sell billions and billions of dollars worth of loans every quarter. It usually doesn't get, there's a complicated process like a waterfall where it gets down to people, but the bottom line is yes, you can buy mortgages basically from people who buy from the bank. Yes. Okay, so CFD stands for Contract for Deed. We don't see many in Florida, but a contract for deed is popular in many other states like Georgia. It's basically when a seller does seller financing, and and he holds the note as a contract for deed. So that was this type of transaction. Yes. Yeah, that's like the mortgage, which is just it's similar but slightly different. It's technically different, but it's the same thing. So if you had stopped paying the mortgage, and eventually at some point it will get sold off or foreclosed on.
Right, and our guest speaker tonight is going to be talking about notes.
Yes,
and what all that means.
All these questions will be answered by Joe with Note School. So stick around and listen to him. He's got all this, but much better presented. Bob, he works at my office with me. He helps get some of these things worked out. He does the, like some of the rehabbing, like arrange for rehabbing and selling.
All right, last question. You can get his information after the presentation, definitely. All right, another round of applause for Shawn.
All right, thank you guys.